Hey, Spectrum or Demon Lance, it's me, Spectrum, come to this video. I am turning more Pokemon into Mech Armours. And trust me, this is a relatively fun series I'm working on. And also YouTube on my third part of this series. Just turning anime characters or Pokemon into Mech Armours. They 18 plussed it, which I really don't like they did. Well anyways, the 4 Pokemon I used were the following. 1, Hydreigon, the 3-headed one, dragon one. I believe it can learn Hyper Beam, so there was that. I worked into the design. The second one was Gliscor. It's a, it has like crab, scorpion claws for hands, and it, has a relatively big tail. And also looks like a bat with wings. Has like wings and it looks like a bat a little. Number 3 was Zoro Arc. This one was a interesting, relatively easy one to transition to an armor. The 4th one was Rhyperior. That was pretty fun to make. Now, roll intro, and let's get into this video. Let's go. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. Hey, it's me, Striker. I just made some new mechs, and I want to tell you about them. Some of these newer ones, 3 of them are made for fighting, and another one's made for some type of construction site armor. This first one is an armor that is based off the Pokemon called, I forget what the Pokemon's name is. There's a lot of Pokemon I'm not a real big fan, but people have just been asking me to make Pokemon-based mechs. So I had to do some research and forgot the thing's name. It's Hydreigon. It's that 3-headed creature. Little legs, had like 5 frills on its head and 2 little heads on like hands. Well, I believe one of its moves it can learn in the games is like Hyper Beam or something, which is something I went for. The beam it's shooting now is something that's supposed to be based off Hyper Beam. That's what it can mainly do. The armor colors are based off the actual Pokemon colors. This armor stands up around, maybe 5 feet tall. No, wait. It's around 6 feet tall. And the thing is pretty decently built. The upper armor is actually more dense than the lower leg armor. The weak spots are actually the blue parts, which does make up a good chunk of the thing, but those are still relatively thick. The upper torso is around maybe 6 inches thick, and the bottom pieces around 2 inches thick. That's a lot of steel or titanium, whatever I used to make this thing. Speaking of materials, I had to use some of my pretty expensive pieces. It was just stainless steel and mixed with some type of titanium. I believe it was military grade titanium, very strong stuff and very hard to get my hands on. I had to go to the black market to get that stuff. Nearly got caught too. There was nearly a sting operation nearby. And they were hunting for anyone else that was selling illegal metals or something like that. But looking for old Colonel Striker, I managed to pretend which for the record I am an ex-colonel in the military. So I did make some good armor, but I decided to change my name. Look, I'm not telling you my name from that back then, because they might be able to find me. So, I changed my name, and I'm now Colonel Striker. They also changed my voice. Little surgery. Now, for anything else, the armor itself cost over maybe $500,000 just because of how powerful it is. Very, relatively heavy, too. Maybe, quarter of a ton. No, I scratch that. 3/4 of a ton. That's how much the thing weighed. The only reason why is people can lift the thing up is because it has an exoskeleton built into it. So whatever armor's too big, it has an exoskeleton built in, which is pretty much all of them. The exoskeletons themselves can lift up about 3 tons. So yeah, I know how to make some good exoskeletons. So let's get to the next one. This next one is a relatively lightweight armor. On the count, that's main thing is flying / gliding. The heaviest part of it is actually its tail. The tail weighs around maybe a pound, maybe around 5 pounds total. Each piece, so in each piece is, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So around 50 pounds total. Relatively heavy, but it makes up for and being pretty heavy. The thing actually is able to lift up about 2 tons, which is pretty much like maybe double its body. No, wait, let me think that again. So the thing weighs around maybe 500 pounds. It has little jets built into the and those spikes on its abdomen are actually built-in jets. You'll be surprised how much energy they can produce. So that can shoot up, and the wings actually are somewhat hovering. Actually hover somewhat. So they can hover and actually cause it to glide. It actually has some claws built in just for braking. Now this suit is most likely a boxing suit made to go up against another suit I made, the abominable Curb Eddie armor I made for that guy from last time, because of the big hands and it catching it. That guy, his hands, when I made the armor for him, actually slip in like a little puppet. Except, unlike it for a mouth, it's a giant claw. The thing has a bite force, not really bite force, more like a clamping force of around 2 tons. It can break anything around that. 2 tons or below, and it's half relatively easily. They are somewhat heated in order to be able to break through that so easily. Since I made something so light, since this thing was so light, I had to make it a pretty expensive armor. I had to use a lot of my titanium to make this piece. So there's that. The guy who wanted me to make it for him stands up around 5'5". The thing is 6 feet tall. So yeah, he has an extra. He has an extra. What was that number? Oh, yeah, extra 6 inches. No, wait, scratch that. 7 inches in the feet. Really tall mech. He just wants to make his enemies look like he's a. So he's even at 5'5". That guy's pretty imposing. I personally stand up around 6 feet tall, and this guy scared me. Although I was surrounded by guns and lasers, but still, I'm pretty sure if that guy got me out of my base, he could beat me to a bloody pulp. So let's get to the next one. Now, when I said in the beginning, 3 of these are made for fighting. The third one is the last one made for fighting, but that's the least of its capabilities. It's mostly made as an endurance armor for runners. This guy has not really an accumulation core, but a low-grade power core. It's known as an arc. It enhances the capabilities, but not by accumulating power. It's a energy source that produces its own power by powering itself. It's a very hard thing to explain. It's pretty much the same thing Tony Stark made. This guy really liked the Pokemon Zoro Arc, so I had to rename. So I renamed it the Zoro Arc. So the Zoro Arc, which are two names for the record. The thing has for the record, the arc reactor is built into the armor, so it doesn't show. I can remember that was a little difficult to design because the energy it produces can't heat the metal, so I had to create little vents, like little microscopic vents, which can actually be seen on the bigger piece. The big shoulder pads are just in case, really just there for wind resistance. They actually can produce a invisible energy shield that actually can help with wind. Winds of that speed can shred your face to pieces. So I had to do something about that. By that speed, I mean around maybe over 100 miles per hour. It hurts a lot. The only reason why I'm still alive is because I have nanotechs coursing through my veins. Nanobots. That was an expensive procedure. Those are my nanobots, so I have full control over them. I don't have any crazy superpowers. I just have an ability that allows me to know how to make mechs and stuff like that. That doubles from the arm knowledge I have of making mechs. Now, for endurance, endurance is also known as stamina. And trust me, these things can run up to 100 miles per hour for days on end. The longest recorded, which surprisingly no one told me, no one told them that where my mech came from, was actually clocking in around 10 days straight. And so you do, so let me think, you do 24 miles per hour times 100, and then times that by 10, and you get a whopping 24,000 miles. That is a long ways to travel. Like I said, I made this armor to be wind resistant, have pretty decent armor. Thing was like $500,000. Was not $500,000. Was $500,000 because I used tungsten titanium alloy to make it. But still has a very strong punch force too. Enough to shatter the ribs and spine and of the strongest man you can think of in one punch. It can pretty much knock out like 5 sets of the Hulk's teeth. That's a pretty impressive punch. But he'll still trash that armor. Okay, the last armor I'm talking about today is an armor I made that I actually have a public store for. It's called Striker's Construction Armors. My main job is mostly making armors that are for heroes and fighters. Any armor that comes from this store is a very interesting armor. They're all like strength, or they're mostly just strength enhancing armor. Strength and durability armor. A few of them are like big steamrollers. Some of them made for bulldozers. But this one was made for lifting. They had to build a building that was relatively short, but also relatively thick of the materials. So when I had them put the thing together, I was basing it off of a Pokemon this guy really liked, known as give me a second to find that name. Oh yeah, the Rapirior. I didn't add the gels from the Pokemon because he didn't ask for them. He said, I just want the body type, I just don't want the actual drills because I don't want to end up drilling through the concrete material we're using. He told me that they were building a shelter for some filthy rich people, so he was getting paid. So he was paid half of his commission up front, and that was about $2 million. This summer took about a quarter of that. So, 500,000. That is some serious armor. I had to make a tungsten and titanium armor. The thing is pretty powerful. If he ever takes it into a hero business, caramba. I feel sorry for anyone that will be punched by it. I'm just happy this guy is okay with heroes, but he doesn't want to become one. Then again, a hero or villain might be able to steal the armor. So, let's go, and that's all I got for today. Bye. I didn't have any ideas what to say, so there's no mid-video interruption. So, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Until next time, subscribe to join the Spiker Storm or Team Monster Alliance. Goodbye, and peace out.